Hello, love. Welcome. Welcome back, family. Sending you so much love right across beautiful Momma Gaia, wherever you are in this time-space continuum. Whenever you find this video, know that this message and all the information coming through here is timely yet timeless, all in alignment with the new Earth paradigm and the frequency of unity consciousness in the unified field. I'm going to start this portal of a message by doing a little announcement about where the channel is moving and the direction that it's going, essentially moving forward. So I'm being guided, and this is an energy of, I find it's important for me to say here that this is an energy of co-creation, because Spirit and my higher self have been guiding me to really tap into, first and foremost, what is needed within the collective that I always speak about, with a big emphasis here on empaths and starseeds moving forward, awakened and awakening souls. That does not mean that if you identify or resonate with being more of a light worker or a healer, that this does not apply to you. It all does. But for the sake of really tuning into the energy, the frequency, the vibration of what is coming through, moving forward, Spirit, and I myself am also feeling this, really wants to simplify this and bring it down to earth. There's an elegance in the simplicity of things. There's an elegance in the brevity of words and of energy. And that is where this focus is going moving forward. This channel and the energies that I bring through Elene is sort of like a portal to this new paradigm consciousness that we are shifting and moving into, okay? In the past, in this linear timeline, of course, in terms of when you look back at the videos that I have done previously on this channel, these were all kind of more based on what had started early on for me as soul support messages for the ELSHAA Collective, Empaths, Lightworkers, Starseeds, Healers, and by way of that, awakened and awakening souls. At some point very recently, I was even referring to it as the ELSHAA Collective, ELSHAA, which I think is really interesting when you start to look at how the sound of that started coming out for me and what that represents, especially after ELSHAA came through for on behalf of the collective through this channel. And actually, I'll link that video up here. Let me just make a note of the time here. So what was interesting is that what ELSHAA and ELSHAA especially means, okay? Very interesting. And what I'm also seeing is there are a lot of souls who are incarnating now, or who are awakening, that also would not necessarily call themselves yet or resonate yet with being an empath, a light worker, a starseed, a healer, or even an awakened and awakening soul for that matter. There are souls perhaps that are not understanding exactly what's going on right now. When I first started sharing channeled messages, tarot readings, I started originally on Instagram, I think in 2021, it was after 2020, it could have been the end of 2020. I think it was 2021, where I started doing that because I felt a need to share what I was experiencing, what messages were coming through for me after having a spiritual starseed awakening, and really feeling like I didn't want anybody else to think that they were going crazy, that they were not alone, essentially. That is and always will be the foundation of the work and the mission work that I do here. It's so that you feel you are in very good company, that you are not alone, and that you are not judged harshly for your own vulnerability, your own heart connection. And this is what sort of leads me into identifying with being an empath as well, because that's been a huge part of my journey, and a starseed by way of that, okay? So moving forward, there is going to be more of an emphasis, especially in terms of some of the information that wants to come through, some of the new earth codes that are wanting to come through. They're going to be very focused, for the most part, with room for obviously shifts in that, regarding empaths, the empath journey, starseeds, the starseed journey, how that also correlates to our relationships here, and how that also correlates to duality and unity consciousness, because they all work in tandem. And by way of that, we're always going to be working on a spectrum. We're always going to be working in terms of nuance and context, instead of very rigid ideas of right and wrong. I realize that for some people that can be triggering. I myself, as the human, the human experience here, okay, as a soul having a human experience here, can really feel into that when I begin to talk about it, because while there are universal truths, okay, those universal truths can sometimes be very paradoxical in nature when it comes to understanding things here on Earth through a 3D framework. So this is why the focus moving forward is going to be very much in terms of awakened and awakening souls who see themselves through an empathic or empath or starseed lens, where there is a pull towards a higher, for lack of a better way of putting it. I like to see it, we use that term higher consciousness, but what does that really mean? It is an all-encompassing, integrated unity consciousness, an expanded form of consciousness. So having said all of that, the messages moving forward, the information that wants to come through here, the wisdom codes is what I'm hearing. They're going to center around the new codes for the new paradigm consciousness here on Momma Gaia. I myself, as a starseed, have I've always felt this, and maybe this might resonate for you as well. I have what's the word? Like, it's not necessarily a difficult time. I feel that there is a lot of indoctrination around the starseed journey, because believe me, there's indoctrination around all of this. There's a lot of programming in the spiritual community around the starseed journey being something very difficult when it comes to being here on Earth. There is truth in that. I'm not disputing that, right? However, when we fall into an ideology of, I will never fit in here, or I'm going to always be at odds with the 3D, we are doing our own selves a disservice, because there's a reason why we incarnated here on the first place, especially as starseeds. We came here for a reason. And one thing that has come through before, and I'm going to link that video again here, I'm just going to make another time. One thing that's come through before very clearly about the starseed journey here on Momma Gaia is that it's always connected to some kind of mission that's related to the expansion of consciousness here on Earth, and the ascension process. What we commonly hear as the ascension process. Even that phrase needs context, okay? Because again, everything sits on a spectrum. To ascend, you need to descend. To be born, you need to die. Everything sits on a spectrum, okay? So what I am very aligned to is transmuting these concepts around, I guess you could say, indoctrinated concepts or programming regarding the Starseed journey and the Empath journey here on Momma Gaia, and also bringing through these expanded forms of consciousness to anchor in the new paradigm consciousness here on Momma Gaia. So as a starseed, I feel very passionately, and I feel like I have a very vested interest in Mother Earth and Momma Gaia. And remember that she is also galactic. She is connected to the universe and the cosmos. She is a galactic body. And that is how other galactic energies and cosmic energies see her. Okay? So what I would like to bring through for this particular message as a starting point and moving forward, how I'm also looking at kind of the practical end of things here. I think what I might be doing is every Monday, I will be posting a video here on YouTube that's connected to bringing in the Momma Gaia codes, okay? Also doing an energetic check-in as to where she is at and where we are collectively at, okay? And also, that will be the timely part of the message, as always. These codes are, I'm hearing my guides, a number of guides here, saying that these codes have always been infinite. So we may refer to them as the new paradigm consciousness here on Mother Earth. And for many, a starseed soul is what they're saying to me, blueprint. This is going to be part of the remembering for you as well, because these codes are things that many starseed souls already know at a very unconscious level as they're experiencing their soul incarnated here in human form. Okay? So we're going to be bringing through some of that energy connected to sort of these new earth consciousness, sort of expanding, really looking at unity, consciousness, frequency, energy here on Momma Gaia. Also allowing Momma Gaia to come through to speak for herself, especially with regard to the empath journey, because Momma Gaia to me is the ultimate empath and transmuter of energy. And that's a big part of what awakened empaths are here to do. Okay. And then possibly now every Thursday moving forward, we're going to try it out this week and see how it goes. We're going to kind of go back to like what I had been doing. If you're an OG of the channel, if you were here for Transmission Tuesdays, it's going to be more of a galactic cosmic coding message that wants to come through every Thursday. Okay. Thursday connected to, again, these energies of expansion and expanding consciousness. Traditionally, in many pagan traditions and beyond that, Jupiter is connected to Thursdays, okay? And interestingly enough, Momma Gaia connected to all of these days in a way. That's what she's showing me right now. It's so funny. But it just kind of works with the energies I feel moving forward. Monday is Moon Day, so we're talking about a lot of divine feminine energy, whereas Thursdays can be a little bit more maybe divine masculine. But remember that, again, everything sits on a spectrum, okay? So looking at things in terms of their context. Okay, so having said all of that, we're going to get into some very quick coding is what Momma Gaia is saying to me here. Quickly coded messages. I've got the energies of the green dragon also coming through for this, the Fae and the green fairy. I'm going to be asking through the Green Witch Tarot. We're going to be asking for these codes, these coded energies to come through these decks. Okay. I'm also going to be asking through the energy oracle cards and the Prism Oracle. She actually wants me to start with that. Okay. Now, she also gave me some numbers. These are numbers for confirmation, but also numbers for the collective, especially empaths, to be watching out for, whether they repeat or not, and also how they add up moving forward, knowing that these are numbers that are coded in connection to her and the energies that are coming through this particular message. So the green dragons, the Fae realm, okay, the green fairy, and Mother Earth herself. 34, 44, 55, and 101. And when I say 101, she's especially referring to the energy of Earth School. So this is sort of a message of Earth School 101. All right? I'm working with the energies of Malacola. This was gifted to me by a very beautiful friend whom I used to work with. And this is a combination of malachite and chrysocolla. This particular crystal, this mineral, has a high copper content, and copper is a conduit of energy. And what she wants me to reiterate here is that we are all conduits of energy. And this is especially for those of you who feel that in order to be a healer, this is a very specific message, because Momma Gaia, aside from being the ultimate empath, she is also the ultimate healer and self-healer. Okay? Specifically, she wants me to say that. So being a conduit of energy and thinking you need to be either have the title of like a doctor or a psychologist or a energy healer to be a healer is an illusion in a way, is what she's saying to me. We all have the ability to heal and have a healing presence with others. There are obviously different degrees to that. Okay, she's reiterating that. She's showing me bunnies now. She's showing me the energy of a lot of rabbits and bunnies. This is kind of a message that's come through before with regard to, interestingly enough, trickster energy. Maybe this is a confirmation for some of you here, but I'm actually seeing Bugs Bunny. What you see is not what you get, is what she's saying with that. Understanding that sometimes, oh my God, she's bringing me back to something that had come through in a message I posted on Instagram about like the person that works at your local grocery store who's just a beam of light. And I think you know what I mean when I say that. They're always smiling. They're always choosing to see the positive in their lives, and they spread that energy and joy, and they shine their light every day, no matter what is going on. They're actually, she's showing that to me as transmuting. Okay. She's not showing me that energy is spiritual bypassing. Okay. Like that phrase gets thrown around. This is not an energy of, I'm just going to shove down all the crap I'm feeling and ignore it. Okay. And just be happy and fake all the time. Not with these New Earth consciousness, not the codes. This is not the energy. Energy is the currency. So you as an empath and a starseed, an awakened soul, are going to get this. You're going to know when someone is not being truly, authentically positive or coming from a deeply positive place or peaceful place. Okay? You're going to know also when someone is transmuting those energies and working as a transmuter. Okay? I'm hearing a lot of like transmute, transform, transponder, that sort of energy of transmutation, of changing or transmitting. That goes back to this energy of being a conduit. All right. Understanding as well, reiterating a very, very basic, simple thing that has come through before here, that when you are doing your own healing work, integration work, wholeness work, also recognizing that it's a remembering process, recognizing that you're simply just getting out of your own way when you do healing work, because you're already whole to begin with, in a sense. Okay? Again, spectrums. So when you begin to do this, this energy reverberates. You are a conduit of that energy through the collective. Okay? So 34, that reduces to a 7. This is the energy of going deeper, of balancing the intuition and the intellect. 44, that is a master number. Master teacher is what I'm getting with that. Master leader. By way of that, they're also showing me Master Builder, because this reduces, even though Master Builder is often associated with 22, which is showing me is the foundational energy of 4. 44 is also a number of angelic presence and protection. The angels are always associated with numbers, but take this wherever it resonates. Specifically, I'm getting the energy of Archangel Michael coming through for that. Okay. That reduces to an 8, which in certain traditions with numbers is connected to the energy of the self. But this is also about making what is in thought form manifest in the physical, hence this sort of master builder energy that's coming through. 55, that reduces to a 10. That's a wheel of fortune. How that's coming through for this particular message and coding is you aligning to your soul purpose. Okay. And I'm getting a lot of golden green energy coming through for that. Some of you may be very drawn to this message because you are stepping into the energy of truly being a healer. Okay. And 101, that reduces to a 2. Remember that the void is in the middle there. So we're looking at the 0 as the void and unity consciousness in the void, unity. And the 2 being connected to the high priestess and the energy of relationship and the divine feminine. Okay, so having said all of that, let's just pop some cards to kind of 22 on the counter as I said that. So that's a big one. She's really wanting to emphasize that. One of the things that she has also brought through for me recently, actually was right before getting into these new messages, is addressing the distortions in the masculine. And she goes, because she reworded it for me. Hold on, let me just get back to my notes here. Seeing the masculine from a different perspective than what we've grown accustomed to. And I was like, you mean the programming, right? She's like, no, what you've grown accustomed to. And looking at that as being on a spectrum and understanding what you've grown accustomed to, is that masculine energy in alignment with the energy of love or connection to the heart space or not? So on that note, we're going to start with the Prism Oracle. As she brings this energy in, these new paradigm consciousness codes, you could refer to them as new earth codes if you like, but really this is a remembering balance. Okay, so this is an energy, and here's this green coming in again. I'm getting a lot of green energy with this, and I understand that she is obviously connected to green energy. That makes total sense, but specifically this is about being connected to the heart space, understanding that the heart is a bridge, and that the heart bridges all of the other energy centers in the body, the chakras in the body. I'm seeing the toroidal field now being very important in that. And look at that, pain at the bottom of the deck. So I'm also hearing specifically these distortions of the masculine and how they have affected us through our families, how we've been affected by them through family dynamics. And you, as an empath and a starseed specifically, are here to transmute that energy. You're here to transmute, especially as an empath, is what she's showing me. She's showing me the significance. She wants me to do this first. Okay. She's showing me the significance of the root chakra. Okay. So there's some coding that wants to come through for this. Let me just give me 2 seconds here while I get. Okay. So she's showing me the energy of unlocking the root. Okay. She's showing me a stick in the mud. The churning of the stick in the mud. There is importance in not moving. So, if you have been feeling stuck energetically, there is reason for that. And this is not something to fight against. Please don't fight against this. Okay? It's fuel for the fire. And now she's directing me to the solar plexus. Okay. This is like, again, as I so lovingly love to say, turning shit into gold. So the pain, the said blockages, okay, that, again, in the spiritual community, it's all about like, clear your blockages, clear your chakras, clear your energy. It's much more holistic than that. Remember that the chakras, going back to this balance card, the chakras are interconnected. The energy centers of the body are interconnected. That's why she keeps on showing me the toroidal field. Every time I look at that balance card, I'm seeing the toroidal field around our bodies. And I'm also seeing her toroidal field. Okay? So, take a look at Momma Gaia and her cycles themselves. And understand that there is purpose in the pain to be transmuted into your deepest pleasure. And I'm going to leave it at that. She wants me to proceed now to the energy oracle cards. Going back to this, your conduit of energy, understanding that the root is directly conduited and connected to the crown chakra. Appreciation, 15. This reminds me so much of the Nine of Pentacles. This is more Momma Gaia energy. The number 15 connected to the devil in the tarot, but also the number 6, which is connected to the lovers. And again, everything being on a spectrum. So what she's showing me here is more duality consciousness and how we can transmute duality consciousness when it comes to taking the pain. How can we? Are you at a point where you are capable of appreciating the pain because of what truth it shows you? That's the flower that this beautiful woman is holding in her hands. Remember that a rose has thorns, right? Man holding a coin, number 43. That's interesting because it's mirroring the 34. This goes back to these concepts of the distorted masculine. One of the, this is going to be a big one, isn't it? Yep. So when it comes to concepts of claiming the feminine, when a masculine claims a feminine, look at how concepts around claiming the feminine, and especially what I'm hearing, providing for the feminine, have been usurped and convoluted. This is where we get into, I'm feeling a tit for tat energy. Because I provide for you, because I care for you, you need to bow down to me in service. Where might have you seen that in your family? Versus the energy of a masculine, the masculine energy of providing so that people can flourish. Providing from a space of not expecting something back. Woo! Can you feel into the difference of that? Because it's interesting that we get these two cards coming out here. Like, look at this. We've got a feminine and a masculine here. And both are very earth energies. They're very connected to earth, the physical reality. I'm hearing the sensual pleasures. So at a deeper level, this is also from a very, from the perspective of the feminine, and especially the feminine that has been usurped and taken advantage of, sexually speaking, right? How when you essentially give of yourself in that way, expecting something back. This is a huge energy that requires a massive transmuting, to put it simply. I am feeling this especially in the feminine consciousness, and how a lot of that is shifting. That is also another distorted example of the masculine. Well, because I do this, and that for the feminine, I expect to get gratification, okay, out of the situation. And how might that exist within your own feminine form of consciousness? Because we got to transmute the shit out of that, let me tell you. 100%. Okay? All right. I'm going to be asking now through the Green Witch Tarot. Expand upon any of these messages moving forward. Expanding on these new earth codes in consciousness. This new paradigm. Yeah, that has been coming out. New love codes is what I'm hearing with that. New love codes. So she's actually showing me that this is going to be much of the focus. The High Priest is at the bottom of the deck. This is the Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant that's making the sacred scene. Scene. Not a scene as in a play. Scene. But a play on words is significant for that. Interesting. Because this is a sacred scene. This picture. He's working his magic. The High Priest, also another example of a masculine energy that, depending on how you read it in the tarot, there are different aspects to him as well. Interesting that she's bringing these through, again, in contrast to a very feminine energy. I'm getting a lot of Mother Mary energy coming through there as well with the lilies. Okay, so, and the blue, all right. I'm hearing the Holy Chalice, the Holy Grail, and I'm getting also the energy of Avalon coming through with that as well. This is connected back to the dragons, getting the energy and the elementals of water and air coming through for that as well. And also seeing, again, biophotons. I keep on seeing this over and over and over again. You see this shining light here at the top on the water, okay? So this is the energy of our DNA being upgraded, essentially, okay? Or awakened is really what... Woo, she's showing me with that. I'm getting really hot with that. Okay, so this is an energy of new love codes. 3344 on the counter with that. 6 and 8. This is the energy of seeing things from a different perspective. The Hanged Man, the number 12, that reduces to a 3, which is the Empress. The energy of seeing this divine feminine also in a new light is what I'm hearing. And how when we begin to tap into these new love codes, this is a huge part of the empath journey in understanding and transmuting the kind of old matrixy ways of loving. Okay, because again, a lot of these ways of loving are forms of indoctrination, especially around the empath, okay, where there's a lot of guilt that comes up, where there's a lot of self-sacrifice that comes up. And in contrast to that, we have the energy of your cup full first and overflowing. This is your natural state of being, is what she's saying. It's about bringing that back into balance again. And we do that by transmuting the pain. A lot of Momma Gaia, color and energy in this. It goes without saying that spending time with Momma Gaia in nature is going to do you a world of good as an empath. It goes without saying. This high priest energy at the bottom of the deck, I just keep on getting, again, making this sacred scene. Hierophant, when you translate that, when you look at the etymology of that word, it's iero, which is holy or sacred, and phadis, you make it seen. Phanero, obvious, seen. Okay? Coming from that Greek word. Okay? Ancient Greek. It's interesting because the high priestess is connected to the energy of Taurus, which is another earth sign. Okay? And there's a lot of obviously earth energy coming through here on behalf of Momma Gaia. But what I keep on getting in this image with this high priest is the energy again of transmutation and working with solar light. The cycles of the sun, how we perceive those cycles here on Mother Earth, understanding that there are light codes in the sun. And she's bringing me back to the energy again of biophotons, okay? Because we had this Ace of Cups come out in combination with the High Priest and the Sun. See those two sun images there? So that might be a message again moving forward. She did want me to reiterate all of that energy when we talk about the light codes and the solar flares. It's a big part of that. Again, if you have any information on this, please leave that in the comment section below with regard to solar flares and what's happening with that. Please also leave any insights or confirmations or any information that comes to you, imagery that comes to you, feelings, frequencies that come to you in the comments below. This is something moving forward with these particular messages that's going to be very important. Because collectively, we are also experiencing similar things. And also, when people leave things in the comments, there's like a soul frequency and an imprint that sort of happens, where you then either see things from a different perspective. You have an aha moment because maybe you didn't see it that way necessarily. Okay? And someone is giving you insight and input. This is also a community as well. So consider that a part of you participating in the community when you leave comments. Okay? And thank you, each and every one of you, for all of the comments that you've been leaving. So grateful for each and every one of you being here. I am offering one-on-one sessions. Moving forward, I am going to be updating that as well. I'm working on a storefront, so pay attention to that with some different offerings, okay? Email me. The email's in the description box below if you are interested in just a one-on-one reading at this point, okay? Especially if you're someone who is an empath or a starseed, perhaps needing some kind of confirmation or guidance moving forward, working with me, it would be an honor, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, Momma Gaia. Thank you to all the beautiful energies coming through. The green dragons, the elementals, the fae, the green fairy especially. A lot of this green light energy. Also I'm getting a lot of Archangel Raphael as well coming in with that golden green light. I thank you for being here, for sharing your time and your energy with us, beautiful soul. Until the next one, in love and liberation, always.